I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, you know. And what's funny is that some of the movies that we've managed to get on the Netflix streaming, they took Aftermath. If anybody has seen the movie Aftermath, it's a beautifully shot 35mm film about a mortician having sex with a female dead corpse. And that's all it is, basically. I mean, it does have hints of storyline to it, but it's beautiful. Bach is playing in the background, and he's, you know, roar, roar, roar. So yeah, I apologize for that. Where did that come from? So anyway, so not only that, I'm also a writer. I jumped into the, oh, thank you. I jumped into the writing fray. I used to write screenplays and was getting optioned. It was really nice, the money's nice, but companies always ended up bankrupt. And I would get the screenplays back, option again, really nice, good money. Company would go bankrupt again, back into my hands. So I never had anything made. And I'm like, okay, well screw this, I need to write. I need to write a novel, get this out of my system. And it started off, I was working on my memoir. Now this is where it's going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry, you know. Hallucination is my memoir. And it was basically a time in my life where I needed to find out what's going on. Why are we here? Who am I? So like a madman, I started taking massive amounts of LSD, mixing it with nitrous oxide, trying to find God. I know. And it worked. It worked. I've met the devil, I've been to hell, thumped in the face by God a couple of times, and it changed my whole perspective, changed me emotionally, spiritually, psychically, just opened me up like a flower. And for the next 10 years, I was trying to figure out how to write this book without sounding batshit insane. Somehow I managed to do it. And I came out with Hallucination, and it did really well. I released it myself, but I released it through my company. And you know, rave reviews, it's just doing well. I ended up optioning that. We made it into a movie, hopefully. But it's getting shopped around, but it's to the big boys. And while that was happening, I told my wife a dead baby joke. And then I told her another dead baby joke. And she's like, I bet you can't write a whole book of those. I said, I bet you I can. So I wrote the ultimate dead baby joke book. Oh my God. I have gotten so many death threats. The whole country of England, Ireland, and Scotland lost their pants. And they were talking, it was featured on BBC radio, BBC television, the Mirror, they just went nuts, and there was groups, and even the Irish Prime Minister was, you know, we gotta contact Amazon and get this taken down. This is totally morally outrageous. How dare somebody do this? So I was getting death threats like crazy. So when all that hoopla was going on, oh, the sales were wonderful. Sales just kept flowing through, and I'm like, yes, thank you, Europe. So after all the death threats and the newspaper articles and this and that, I decided to write the Ultimate Dead Baby Cookbook. And so I wrote the Ultimate Dead Baby Cookbook, and I'm like, here you go, Indigo, take this. And suddenly they were like, oh, we can't stop this. Okay, just leave him alone, So, yeah. And at the time, I started writing Dialogue with the Devil. Now, in my hallucination days, that's what we'll call them from now on if you like. In my hallucination days, my mind used to be just by itself. It was just me, myself, and I. There was no angel or demon on my shoulder. You know, because I know some of you have it, I know some of you don't. And it was really interesting because my mind actually split into 3 different entities, or it actually split to where I can actually hear the devil or God. Or you can say demons or angels, or in psychology it's called the id and the superego. And the ego is you. And so when that happened, I started noticing that, I'm talking to myself or my personal angel and demons a little bit too much. How do you say, you could almost say I was going batshit crazy for about 2 years learning how to calm down the internal voices. I know. And so the hallucination book was so powerful, it changed me so much that I decided to do a follow-up called Dialogue with the Devil. And this is basically just me, either, if you're scientific or atheist, it's me talking to my id. If you're religious, it's me talking to the devil, or my personal demon. And I wrote this. While I was writing this, the whole household was going nuts. My wife was having massive nightmares. We were fighting about it all the time. She's like, I know you're sitting there late at night talking to the devil. What are you doing? You can't do this. I'm like, well, I'm doing it for the betterment of mankind. Leave me alone. I know it sounds crazy, but it became pretty heavy. And I finished it, and I passed it around to some of my proofreaders, and they read it, and they were going nuts too. They're like, dude, I had to turn it off the computer, and I had to go outside and lay down in the grass and look at the sky. And I'm like, whoa, really? And they're like, yeah, no, that's heavy, dude. It's really heavy stuff. And it was released in August, and I've had quite a few readers start reading it, but they're afraid to finish it. Because it really hits you in the soul and in the mind, because it's very deep psychologically, theology. I mean, it's about human, society. I mean, it's imagine the devil actually sitting there and telling you, this is what I'm doing. This is why you're insane. This is why you're chasing fame. This is why you can never be happy. This is why you will never ever be happy. Even when you're happy, you're going to be chasing after, this. And the emails I'm starting to get now is pretty intense. I'm getting a lot of people saying that they had to burn the book. I had one couple, rape me, and the husband was really freaked out. And he said many times he had to throw the book across the room, but he finished it, and his wife was afraid. And she started reading it, and then she burnt it, and he had to ask me a bunch of questions, so I answered them really, really, straightforward and this and that. So now they want to rebuy the book because they knew that the emotional harm that they were getting from reading something like this was actually good for their growth. So it's quite different. And right now I have the third in the trilogy, which is called Satan Reborn, and that's being edited right now. I should have it available in about 2 or 3 weeks. And it's basically the continuation, because it's all me in this. It's sort of different, it's not like made up characters. But the third one I got to have fun, and I made that character up. But it's me, okay? Because in that one, Satan basically is tired of being the devil. He doesn't want to be Satan anymore. He's Lucifer, the morning star, he's an angel, so he goes to God and asks to be forgiven, wants to be taken back. The Lord's like, oh, okay, but who are we going to have to be Satan? And they're like, oh, well, let's try and find, and they're going through the judgment people, and they're like, no, they're all damned. Hey, how about that guy Steve Byro you were talking to in that book, and the guy we were messing around with in Hallucination. So basically in the next book, I'm the devil. And my editor, who just got to the plot of the book, how do I say it? Basically, as the devil, I figured out the only way to save everybody is to damn everybody. That way, the Lord's like, oh shit, everybody's damned. Okay, I gotta save everybody. And it's a different take, because I'm still a good guy, trying to follow the Lord's orders. Oh, well, you're Satan now, and you're condemned for all eternity. But here's your job. You gotta do it well. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it too well. So it's an interesting take, and Right now, actually, all 3 books are getting shopped around. Let's hope and pray that somebody in the Hollywood system actually says, hey, we can work with this. The cool thing is they're trying to do a cable show for it, which would be wonderful because, you know, you get 7 or 8 seasons. Oh man, that's some good money. That's some great money. You know, movie comes and goes. TV shows, you know, can go well. So they're pushing all different angles. So yeah, so that's basically it. Hey Rick, what time we got?
Good question.
You got 7 hours left, Steve.
2:40, 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, now, if you guys like, I could read a portion of Dialogue with the Devil for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, I am going to warn you, I picked this specific section just for us film lovers. Now be careful, because I don't know how you're going to take it, okay? I know this has scared like quite a few of my filmmaker friends, and actors and producers and writers and stuff, so I don't know how I'm supposed to hold this.
There you go.
How's this?
Innovation.
Good? You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so much better.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's going limp on me. Okay, now this is a part where just me and the devil are talking in my office while I'm transcribing what he says, plus my own. Okay, it's just going to start in the middle of a chapter, because otherwise the next movie won't be on for a while. Ready? His laughter shook me to the core. At first I thought the greatest invention was alcohol. Then I thought it was when you monkeys learned to distill his plants into more potent forms of drugs. Believe me, I enjoyed the guns and weapons of war a lot. You all started to make weapons to kill each other from farther and farther away to dilute the actual meaning of the death of another human being. Few things make me as happy. Ships, airplanes, tanks. These are all part of my plan to make war misery and annihilation a lot easier for you to accomplish. You never even had to see the person you were killing. As I always say, out of sight, out of mind, but I digress. Beer. I hear Lucifer laugh. Oh, no. I hear Lucifer light up yet again. I turn to look at my pack of cigarettes and he says, don't worry, I'm chain smoking because I'm getting to the good part. Ready? The most wonderful creation that I ever watched you humans create was television. Radio was part of the process too, but not on the grand scale of what I needed. When films came out, I was amazed. I saw it for the potential it could have. I could see the future. It was a treat to go to the nickel movie theater and see a famous person act. But that was just the beginning. Television, however, was the invention of all of your lifetimes. Channels upon channels of content spewing forth into your living room. The inventor saw it as a teaching tool to help people learn and to grow, to see the things that they never saw before. But I saw it for what it was, a devilish device to sell envy, greed, lust, and vanity, and most of all, sloth. I got you to sit there and stare at a glowing box that gives you the appearance of emotions and makes your minds think it's actually doing something. You're slowly programmed to want to be an actor or an actress. You envy their money and notoriety. You're told what to buy and what to want. I fool you into thinking that others' lives are normal and your life is the farthest from it. So you want to emulate it. You want to be what you see on your cathode ray tube. I heard angels gnash their teeth and demons squeal with glee. This was the beginning of a completely new adventure for me to revel. At that moment, I saw the future for what it would become. Your computers followed like clockwork, but that's for later discussion. TV was now in all of your homes. During the simple times, you would take it or leave it. Little did you know the damage it would do to your whole civilization, or the misery that would be caused by these empty promises of fame and fortune laid out by that glowing box in your living room. Actually, every room of your house. He snuffs the cigarette out and says the TV generation really began in the early 70s. Not everyone could afford them in the 50s, but with each generation of monkeys staring at multicolored boxes, the field of broken dreams became worse. I'll be straight with you. You can go to Hollywood in the 70s with some talent, maybe get some parts on some shows, fulfill your dreams of becoming someone, but more and more of you were programmed into believing that this was your calling. The envy, vanity, and greed driven into you from childhood put you in a trance. It became harder and harder to break into showbiz. Drugs and alcohols flowed to numb the pain of unfulfilled aspirations. It's getting even worse now. I squirm in my seat about to shit my pants. I suppose there is more to it than this. Lots more. Hippies, war, mother's little helpers, feminism, and racism were all coalescing at the time, but it was a TV that was worshipped. That was my biggest stroke of luck, and mankind's biggest downfall. Think of it this way, because none of you do. This invention was thrust upon humanity without anyone actually thinking about how it would change life as you know it on this planet. A few of you did, but it was heralded as a money-making machine at the onset. And all of you accepted it without any hesitation. Did you know that you can get cancer from the lights directed at you constantly if they're put into a colored filter or lens? Did you also know that TV showers you with lasers directed right into your eyes? They're repeated so fast that it looks like movement. Television distorts your perception of the world. It's detrimental to a thoughtful society. The wonderful thing is, you're no longer a thoughtful society. You're enslaved to a glowing box.
You guys want another rubber thing?
I think I will leave it there.
Yeah, because it'll be
Because
when they come out now that we're this full.
I don't know if it just sapped the energy out of this room. But I think that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Cursing everybody, we appreciate it.
Steve, good job, man.
Thank you.
All right, everybody's trying to filter in now for our feature film, but before I do that, I want to go ahead and say a couple quick announcements. One, thank you guys once again for coming out to the resurrection of the Halloween Horror Picture Show. We're hoping that this nice kicks off the Halloween season. We're very excited. Halloween's our favorite holiday, of course. And the Tampa Picture Show is a great venue. I mean, they've got movies here all the time. They've got Rocky Horror Picture Show going on tonight. They got a great crowd, audience participation. They've got good food, drinks, and everything. I also wanted to let you know, beginning October 19th, they've got the Wolfman Matt Kelly's Monster Matinee every Saturday night. They're going to be showing
Shayna,
horror movies,
is this the one
classic
at your
horror
end?
movies. Your favorite
Are you in
classic
this
horror
one?
movies hosted live by
not?
Wolfman Matt Kelly and Boney Bob, stars of the hit TV
Spirit,
show
right?
Chiller Drive-In. So make sure you check out their website, TampaPictureShow.net, for all the details. And like I said, the first one starts on October 19th. It's all a family-friendly event. It's supposed to be a lot of good stuff. So make sure you definitely check out the website and come out and check out their films. And with no further ado, I would like to welcome Glenn Register to the front. Is he around, Glenn? Come on down. Rather than me introduce their film, I'm going to let the filmmakers themselves tell you a little bit about it, introduce to you what you're about to see. And we can't thank them enough for being a part of the Halloween Horror Picture Show.
Get the candy bar fairy in here, that's
enjoy their
cool.
piece. Here he is.
Thank you. How you guys doing? I see a lot of familiar faces. I guess I'm trying to get up here. I see a lot of familiar faces. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. This is our first film fest, so we spent a long time. 3.5 years it took us to make this movie. We had a lot of help, a lot of volunteer work. You know, we really want to appreciate everything you guys do. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting us. So without further ado, we'll give you Resurrecting Evil.